if I told you that one of rugby league's brightest test stars, once written off after spectacular fallout with Ricky Stuart, has just been thrown a lifeline, and not just any lifeline, but one that could completely change the future of the Dolphins and shake up the NRL landscape? Yes, it's happening. The rumors, the whispers, the behind-closed-doors meetings, they've all led to this moment. And trust me, this return isn't just about redemption. It's about revenge, legacy, and a gamble that could either pay off in spectacular fashion or explode in disaster. But here's the real shock. The Dolphins have just made a massive halves call that leaves fans split right down the middle, and the timing couldn't be more dramatic. So strap in. Because this story has it all: betrayal, ambition, a career on the line, and a bold decision that could define a club's future. Before we dive deep, make sure you smash that subscribe button to Aussie NRL Updates, your #1 home for the biggest breaking stories, bold analysis, and every twist in the NRL world. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming. Let's rewind. Every great redemption story has its darkest chapter, and for this test star, that chapter came in the form of a bitter fallout with Ricky Stuart. For years, Stuart had positioned himself as the mentor, the hardline coach who could get the best out of even the most mercurial players. But as history shows, relationships under Ricky can burn just as hot as they rise. What started as mutual respect crumbled into tension, miscommunications on the training paddock, disagreements over game plans, and then, the final straw, Stuart openly questioning his star's discipline and commitment. The headlines at the time: brutal. The commentary: ruthless. A player once tipped as a cornerstone of club and country suddenly found himself labelled too risky, too unreliable, even damaged goods. And just like that, he was cast aside. But here's the twist. While many believed it was the end of his NRL chapter, behind the scenes, he never stopped grinding. Never stopped preparing. And now, after years of whispers, rumours, and speculation, he's back. The Dolphins have been a club built on bold moves since day one. From their inaugural signings to the Wayne Bennett masterstroke, they've always seemed to swim against the tide. But even for them, this is a gamble of seismic proportions. The call they've made is clear: bring in a test-level playmaker, a man with proven class but a fractured past, and give him the keys to their halves engine room. The question is, why now? Some insiders say the Dolphins were left with little choice. Injuries, inconsistent form, and the pressure to deliver in just their third season forced the club to think outside the box. Others believe it's Bennett's genius again, his ability to back the underdog, to extract brilliance from players everyone else gave up on. But here's where it gets spicy. This isn't just about bringing him in, it's about who he replaces. And the Dolphins' halves call has fans buzzing. For weeks, speculation has been swirling around the Dolphins' halves pairing. Would they stick loyal to the young guns? Or would they shake things up with an experienced campaigner? Now we know. The test star is IN, and one of the current playmakers is out. This decision wasn't made lightly. We are talking late-night meetings, heated debates inside the coaching staff, and more than a few angry agents on the phone. The Dolphins could have played it safe, but instead, they've lit a fire under their own squad. And here's the thing: this halves reshuffle isn't just about attack, it's about leadership. The Dolphins need someone who can steady the ship in big moments, someone who's worn the green and gold, someone who knows how to win. But can you really expect a man coming off the back of such a public fallout to carry that weight? That's the gamble. And the consequences could be huge. You can already hear it across NRL forums, pubs, and group chats. Half the fans are calling this a masterstroke, a Wayne Bennett-esque move of brilliance that could turn the Dolphins from finals hopefuls into genuine contenders. The other half? They're calling it reckless. A desperate grab at headlines. A short-term fix that could blow up the chemistry of the squad. And honestly, both sides have a point. Because while the test star brings undeniable skill and vision, he also brings baggage. The Ricky Stuart fallout isn't forgotten. The question marks over his temperament, his discipline, his ability to gel with teammates, they're all still there. And yet, isn't that exactly what makes this story so compelling? The risk, the tension, the fine line between triumph and disaster? Let's talk about the player himself for a second. You don't get to test level without resilience, without hunger. For him, this isn't just another club move. This is personal. Every training session, every touch of the ball, every run onto the field, it's all a chance to silence critics, to prove Ricky Stuart wrong, to rewrite his legacy. And here's where it gets emotional. Behind the headlines, Behind the stats and the analysis, there's a man who's had to swallow pride, endure the humiliation of being cast aside, and fight for every shot at redemption. This return isn't just about rugby league, it's about identity, about purpose. And if you think he's coming back to play it safe, you're mistaken. This is about making a statement. The beauty of this move is that it's not just about this season. The Dolphins are building something bigger. They don't want to be seen as a novelty expansion club. They want to be respected as a powerhouse. Bringing in a test star, especially one with a point to prove, sends a message to the league. The Dolphins are serious. It tells potential recruits, sponsors, and fans that they're not afraid to make bold moves, to back talent others have given up on. And in the NRL, perception is everything. But again, bold moves come with bold risks. And as history has shown, sometimes they pay off in premierships, and sometimes they implode spectacularly. So here we are. The test star is back. The Dolphins have rolled the dice with a halves reshuffle that could change everything. The fans are split. The critics are circling. But the biggest question remains. Will this redemption story end in glory, or heartbreak? Because as much as the return is a headline, the real test lies ahead, on the field, under the lights, with the season on the line. And coming up next, we are diving into part 2, the behind-the-scenes drama, the fiery training sessions, and the ripple effects this move could have across the entire NRL. Stick around, because it only gets juicier from here. When a player walks back into an NRL locker room after years in the wilderness, the atmosphere is electric. Some teammates embrace him. Others keep their distance. And in the Dolphins' case, the arrival of this test star has already caused sparks, some good, some not so good.